Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Now somebody on my YouTube channel recently asked me to go ahead and share an updated roti recipe. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing my paratha or oil roti recipe, and I'm going to be using my Sugrim's ghee inside of it. Now if you want to check out Sugrim's, then I will leave his email as well as his phone number right here and in the description box right below this video, so you can go ahead and check him out. This was started by Ron Sugrim. He is a wholesaler of fruits, veggies, and different herbs, and he also has different dried products such as his ghee, pepper sauces, spices, and many more. So if you want to give him a call, he can send these items straight to your door, or if you head over to your local West Indian store, you can probably find most of these products on their shelves. The first thing that we're going to do is start off in a large bowl, and we're going to go in with some all-purpose flour. Whenever I make any type of roti, I always use all-purpose flour. This is the flour that you're going to need. Now, if you wanted to make this just a little bit healthier, you can mix this with whole wheat flour, or you can use all whole wheat flour. I have that recipe on my channel already, and I'll link it in the description box right below this video. On top of my flour, I'm going to be going in with a little pinch of salt. My auntie Kanita taught me this little trick, and she said that if you add in a little bit of salt into the dough, it actually makes a roti much softer. And if you guys want the full list of ingredients and measurements, they will be left in the description box right below this video. Click on the drop down menu and scroll down a bit and you'll see everything right there. Now at this point, I'm also going to be going in with my baking powder, and trust me, if you follow my recipe to a T, then you will get the perfect soft rotis. A lot of people, they add in too much baking powder into their roti, and then the roti ends up getting stiff and bready instead of nice and soft and flaky. We're just going to mix all of these dried ingredients together until everything is well combined. And being that this is a ghee roti that I'm making today, I'm going to go ahead and add in just a little touch of ghee into my dough. What this is going to do is it's going to make the roti dough nice and soft, and it's also going to make the end product nice and soft. Now, if you do not have ghee, you can also replace this with a little bit of butter, or you can replace it with some cooking oil. Now, once you get that ghee all mixed in, it is time to start streaming in some warm water a little bit at a time until you get a very nice soft dough. Now, I do not recommend using cold water for this recipe because the roti dough and the end product ends up being a little too stiff. And you do not want to add in too much water at a time, because if you add in too much, then you're going to have to keep on adding in dried flour to bring it back together. So just keep on adding it a little bit at a time. You're going to want a semi-soft / sticky dough, and then you want to scrape down the sides like you see me doing right here, and just bring everything together as best as possible. And this is what my roti dough looks like after I've kneaded it for about 4 to 5 minutes. It's nice and smooth. Now at this point, I'm going to let it rest for just about 15 to 20 minutes, just so this way the dough can relax a little bit. And you all know how much I love my Sugrim's ghee. This right here is one of the better ones on the market. Personally, I prefer this taste over some of the other brands. You guys will definitely enjoy it, so make sure you try to order one of these. Now, I melted some of the ghee in my bowl here. I'm going to be mixing it with just a little bit of vegetable oil just to cut it, but if you wanted to use all ghee by itself, you can do that as well. So at this point, we're going to take our ball of dough and we're going to go ahead and break it up into small balls. Now for this recipe, I'm going to get about 5 rotis. But of course, if you make them bigger, you're going to get less, and if you make them smaller, you'll get even more. And what I like to do every time I finish breaking off a ball is I like to smooth it out just a little bit, because it's going to make it much easier to roll out, and you're going to end up getting a rounder product in the end. So I finished rounding out all of my balls of dough, and I went ahead and I laid them onto a plate. You can use a platter or a plate, and I covered it with a damp paper towel, or you can use a damp kitchen towel. You want to do that so this way while you're rolling out one, the other ones do not dry out. So at this point, I took one of the balls of dough, I sprinkled it with some dried flour, and I'm rolling it out on my board until I get it nice and thin. Remember, we're just going to be oiling the roti on the inside right now, so this way we can create those flaky layers. If it's not perfectly round at this point, that is totally fine. You just want to get it nice and thin, because the thinner you get it, the more layers and the more flakiness you will get. And once the dough is rolled out to your desired thickness, it is time to go on with a little bit of that ghee and oil mixture. We're just going to add a little bit into the middle, and we're going to spread it out all the way until the edges. The next thing you have to do is sprinkle the top of this with a little bit of dried flour. The reason we do this is because it's going to interact with that oil and the ghee, and it's going to make it get those nice layers in the middle, and it's going to allow the roti to puff up a little bit. So this is the way that I oil my roti, and this is the way that I fold it. I'm going to go ahead and cut it down from the middle to the edge, and once you do that, you're going to roll from one side as tightly as possible, and you're going to roll all the way till the opposite end. Remember, the tighter you roll it, the more layers you're going to have in this roti, and the more flaky this roti is going to be. When you get to the end, you're going to go ahead and tuck that end of the dough into the bottom, and after you do that, you're going to go ahead and tuck in the top, and you're going to get like a nice cinnamon roll shape. This is the way that I do it. There's so many different ways to do it, but go ahead and do what's more comfortable for you. And since this is a step-by-step tutorial, I'm going to show you how to roll out another one. You're just going to roll out your dough nice and thin. You're going to sprinkle it with dried flour, and you're going to get all of the edges, all of the middle nice and thin. You're going to go on with your oil and your ghee mixture and spread it to the edges. Sprinkle some dried flour, and then you're going to cut it from the middle all the way out to the edge. Roll it as tightly as possible. You're going to tuck in the bottom, tuck in the top, and that right there is your oiled roti. So I finished rolling out all of my pieces of dough, and you do not need to let these rest at all. If you wanted to let them rest, you could put them in an airtight container, and you can even put them in the fridge overnight, or you can just leave a damp paper towel on them and let them rest for about 15 to 20 minutes on your counter. But trust me, if you follow my method, you do not need to let them rest at all. You can cook right away. So I'm taking one of my oiled pieces of dough, sprinkling it with some dried flour, and I'm going to roll it onto my board until I get it nice and round. If you follow my little steps here and go very evenly on the dough, you will get a very nice round roti just like how I have here. And once you get the roti rolled out nice and round like this right here, you're going to go ahead and put it onto your hot tawa or your hot griddle pan. Make sure that your heat is not too high, and also make sure it is not too low, because sometimes the roti ends up burning too quick, or the roti does not cook fast enough and then it will dry up. And once you see that the roti dries out just a little bit on the top and you see a couple of small bubbles, you're going to go ahead and flip it over. And once you flip it over, you're going to go ahead and oil one side. Now I like to go ahead and use either a spoon or a paper towel or a brush, anything just to get that oil on and spread it out nice and evenly. And again, I'm using my ghee and oil mixture to oil my roti today. Once you baste one side with that oil and ghee mixture, you're going to flip it over right away, and you're going to oil and baste the other side. You want to do this as soon as you flip the roti, so this way that ghee and that oil has a chance to soak in a little bit. If you did this more towards the end, you're going to get a very oily and saturated roti. And once you oil it on the other side, you're going to flip it again. And at this point, it's up to you how long you cook it. You can get them nice and crispy, or you can leave them more on the white side and a little more soft. Everybody has their preference when they're making their roti. So you can see that my roti has started to puff up around the edges, and it's gotten a slight golden brown color. That is exactly what I want. So at this point, I'm going to put it onto a plate, and I'm going to clap it a few times, and you're going to see that as soon as you clap this roti, you're going to see all of those beautiful layers popping out of it. This right here is one of the flakiest rotis that I have ever made, and simply it is because it was so soft and because of the ghee that I used. I'm going to show you how to cook another one before I end this video. So I went ahead and I put my roti onto the stove. As soon as it got a little dry and had some brown marks, I went ahead and I flipped it over and I oiled the first side. Again, like I mentioned, if you wanted to use a paper towel, a brush, or even the bottom of a flat cup, you can use those all to baste this roti. But today I'm just using a spoon to show you. When you oil the first side, you're going to flip it again, and you're going to oil the second side very well. Remember, the more oil that you put on it, the softer the roti will be, but you truly do not need a crazy amount of oil to make a soft roti. As you can see, I'm only adding in about 1 teaspoon to 2 teaspoons on top of it. And once you oil this side, you're going to flip it over again, and you're just going to let it cook until it gets nice and golden brown as per your liking. And of course, once you get to this texture right here, you're going to go ahead and take it off the stove. Give it a good clap, and if you don't want to clap it in between your hands, you can also clap it in a mug, and then you're going to be left with these beautiful and soft, flaky rotis. These right here were amazing. These would be great even by themselves with a little slathering of butter or jam. Trust me, get in your kitchens, give this roti recipe a try, and make sure you order your Sugram's ghee to put it together. If you all enjoyed this video today, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed yet, and drop those comments down below and let me know what you'd like to see next. I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye everyone.